Get my face together. All right. Ugh.
I tagged you, so you should see it on your page too.
Okay.
As soon as it is almost live right now, you should see it.
Yep.
Do you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool. Welcome to Comic Spot. Mimi, Comic Spot is where the military veteran, me, is vetting veterans of comedy. And I'm so thrilled, Meme Simpson, that today I have a comedian veteran and a military veteran in one person, and that's you, Meme Simpson. Hi.
Hi.
You're a comedian from Chicago,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Yep, that would be me. I am originally from the south side of Chicago. I'm from the suburbs actually. Chicago Heights, Country Club Hills area.
Wow.
Shout out to my suburbanites. um, yeah, I lived in Atlanta for like a number of years, 5 or 6 years. Then well, actually Milledgeville, Georgia.
Okay.
Then I moved to Atlanta, and I've lived in New York for about almost about 9 years now, almost 10 years. Mm-hmm.
How long have you been doing comedy, Mimi?
Uh, I'm going to have my 8 year anniversary.
Woo!
I think September 12th.
What made you get into comedy to begin with?
I'm funny. Yeah, I'm funny, and I used to hear it a lot. I'm one of those people strong with a strong opinion on something. And usually like I've had a lot of instances where I'll be talking to like people, and I'll just be explaining my point of view, and I'm so aggressive with my opinion, and they will just be dying laughing, and I'm just like, why are you laughing like that? Like, I'm just like explaining what's going on, but to them it's hilarious. So I'm like, okay, and it's a gift. My mom has always told me I was going to be a comedian. um like since I was a child, I used to always, be able to make her laugh. And she told me I would be a comedian, but I really didn't understand how to be a comedian. I guess I could have looked it up, but I didn't understand like, what that it was an actual job, and how to go about being, doing it as a career. I didn't know nothing about comedy clubs and, stuff like that. So um I've always known I was funny. I went to film school in New York, New York Film Academy,
Wow.
and I got a job working as an assistant writer with Tyler Perry with Meet the Browns in Atlanta.
What?
Yes, shout out to Anthony Hill who hired and fired me.
What?
Yes, yes. So and I got it based off of my my resume. And I cursed in my resume too. I, I I think they liked the fact that I had the balls to do that.
Yeah, that's great. Oh my gosh. How long were you doing the writing with Tyler Perry's group?
I didn't work there that long, but yeah, it was a short time. But I took with me some good lessons, and I'm still close with the head writer, and one of the other comics, David Arnold. He was a writer on the show. They were actually two people um who told me I should do stand-up comedy.
Wow.
like, yeah, they really were like, hey, you got to try stand up. Like, no, you're a stand up comic. They kind of like pushed me, out there. Like, no, I think you should do stand. And I'm like, okay, like, again, just the affirmations, just always hearing it that you should be a stand up comic. I guess because, um the great thing about, I guess, stand up comedians is they have an opinion and it's funny and it's relatable, so and just like timing. So those two, and I love David Arnold. Shout out to him. He just got a special on Netflix. He's been a writer on a lot of different shows. I'm just, honored that I know him and that, he was one of the people who that kind of pushed me out there. Like, yo, I think stand up is your lane too. So
Wow.
um yeah, and I started doing it, and been doing it 8 years now. It's been great. It's been up, it's a journey.
Yes, it
Just,
is.
yeah, just learning your lane, and realizing like who you are on stage. It's challenging, but I love it. I love it.
What do you find is the most interesting thing that you've learned, the biggest hurdle you got over?
um so the biggest hurdle I got over, just being comfortable on stage and learning the business of stand up too, learning how to earn a like real living, from comedy, be it producing or doing your own shows or podcasts, or so just learning the business of it too. That was important. So I guess that was the biggest hurdle, because if it's what you love, there's nothing like getting paid to um to do, something that you love. That's amazing. Not
Yeah,
many people get to do that, to
it's
get to do
so
something they love for a living.
crazy.
It's unheard of. Like, a lot of people, do what they have to do, not what they want to do.
Yes,
Yeah, I want to do this. So
that's so cool. And you run a show in Brooklyn, don't you? Or you did when I was there in New York.
yes, yes. I do the weekly show Essence in Brooklyn. It's a historical venue. They've been doing comedy there over 20 years on Wednesdays.
Wow.
So back in the day, during like the Def Jam era, when like the urban comedy scene was like really growing here in New York, there was a comedian named Rashid. He was on Def Jam. I think Bad Boys of Comedy. He was hilarious. He hosted that room for 9 years, establishing, different events and things to do in, the urban scene. So now you have like urban comedy shows. So this
Wow.
was one of like I would say, I'm not going to say the first, but some of the first establishments to establish a comedy night, and to hold it for so long, and it's been 20 years. So yeah, so Rashid had it for 9 years, and then another comedian, Damon Rosier.
Yeah.
um yes, you remember Damon?
Is he?
Damon was like my mentor in comedy. I loved him. Damon was like the first person to take me out of town,
Hmm.
to in comedy, to pay me out of town. He passed away. Rashid passed away, unfortunately. God bless the dead. And then Damon had the room for 12 years, 11 years, I think.
I did.
Damon too passed away.
What?
Yeah, Damon
I did
passed away
not
too.
know that. Hmm.
Yeah, he was in a wheelchair. Do you remember him? Oh, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He passed away. So but he was great. He really showed me what it's like to like don't complain. You have it easy. He worked so hard, and being disabled is not easy, being a quadriplegic. And so, he made me view things differently. So if I were to think about like complaining about something, like I could imagine like what his day is like, just having to get up and do his regular everyday activity. It's a workout. It's a whole, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Just to get dressed, to get up the stairs. If you got a show, and how you gonna get on the stage, and like, but he never complained, and he just did it so effortlessly, and with a smile on his face.
Wow.
So it was very inspiring to see, and then he was hilarious. He was so funny. And yeah, so after Damon passed away, another like the room was in transition between comedians. A few people like hosted it, but I wound up getting the permanent spot, myself and Kelly Kales. Kelly's from Milwaukee. um we do the show every Wednesday. We host it. Kelly, she's there most of the time. But she's like back and forth between here in Atlanta, and she tours and stuff.
So the name of your weekly show is called
Women Crush Wednesdays.
Women Crush Wednesdays?
Yes, this was before, Rona came through and ruined everything.
So it's Wednesdays at what time?
It's Wednesdays at 8:30.
Okay, and it's at what place, what venue?
It's at Essence Lounge, 1662 Atlantic Avenue.
1662 Atlantic Avenue
Yep.
in Brooklyn.
Uh-huh.
Okay, cool.
Amazing venue, diverse crowd, really good food, good service. You have a good time, like I love the vibe in there. Hosting that room has made me a better comic, because you're challenged. The same people come back every week. So you have to learn how to just have a funny conversation about life, about what's going on. You got to interact with people. It made me comfortable, on stage to just have, a conversation versus trying to do a set, as a host. You more so converse um with the crowd, and make them feel a part of it, and you give them something to look forward to every week, and you get them involved, and then that kind of sets up your other comics for jokes too, or your headliner, because they know stuff about people in the room, so that they have something to riff off of. They know this guy's a carpenter, that guy is a stripper, whatever. So you learn how to set your comedians up to win too. So yeah, it's just to have your own space. I would recommend that to anybody that wants to do comedy, is to do your own, to host your own room, and just really try to find yourself, find who you are on stage. And you can do that because this is your show. Like, you control it. I always have comedians, that come through, and they mix up the pace of the show, but I'm the glue.
Exactly.
So yeah, I would say host a room, and it would totally help you grow as a comic. It's definitely been my therapy, my everything.
Gives you more.
Comedy is such a spiritually rewarding job.
It is. It so is. People just, they come to comedy for so many different reasons and they leave differently.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a blessing to be able to give someone, happiness. essentially, because life sucks. You know, everybody going through something. We all got bills, people dying, diseases, and this and that. And like your body can only take so much negative energy. You got all this, like you need to create endorphins. Like that's why exercise is important and going to comedy clubs. It's literally good for your health.
It is. It's
Yeah,
healing.
yeah, it's healing because stress causes so much. It causes high blood pressure. Like you can have a heart attack because you stressed out. You come to a comedy club, you know, you're supposed to be able to, you know, get a different viewpoint on something. Hear a funny story, you know. And you're right. People come to comedy clubs like, you know, to heal from things. Um, because life sucks. And they need that recharge. They feel better when they leave the show. Oh my God, they laughing and kicking, and you know, the next day at work they reciting your jokes and oh she said, you know, like it's really, you know, like it's a necessary, I feel like it's a necessary part of life. It is. It's we like little counseling sessions with liquor.
Yeah, it's essential. You know, I understand that we shouldn't gather until it's safe, but it really fries my goat that they thought that comedy is not essential during a pandemic. I think it's, you know, like people need to laugh right now like nobody's business.
You know, I agree. I guess it's you brought up the pandemic.
Sorry, you're in the middle of it all. I'm so sorry.
No, I mean I'm okay. You know, I have my theories on everything that's going on. So I will say um you know, I'm so torn but between like what to believe as far as what social distancing really means. And you know, I will be honest, I think that um for a long time we have been tearing this planet up because we haven't been recycling. We're polluting the ocean. You know, we're causing a hole in the ozone layer. Global warming is real. Like the temperature and environment is changing. I think that the world literally needed a break. And I think scientists and Bill Gates, they did what they had to do to give the world the break that it needs, because we have gotten um, to that point where where, you know, everybody gonna die. You know, like that's how bad things have gotten. And you know, Bill Gates talks about population control a lot. He has TED talks about it, and he talks about vaccines and you know how we are reproducing more than the planet can hold, you know. And then when and we haven't recycled, we have landmine full of trash, you know, the ocean is messed up, like it's like shit is real, you know. And we need to decrease the population by like, you know, 2 billion people or some shit like that. You know, so I think that Bill Gates feels like this is a necessary evil. And that's why he knew about it. He talked about this virus, you know, years ago.
Yep.
He said that there's going to be a pandemic, and, you know, and it was made, this is a man-made virus, you know, to be in humans, to jump into humans like that, it just it doesn't make sense.
No.
So they made this virus for population control. You know, just like HIV. HIV is another man-made virus that's been used to control the population. What I know is rich people don't talk about nothing that they're not spending time, money, and energy on. You know, and if you look at his TED Talks and he talks about the population and, you know, how much each person, each individual person, how much, what type of carbon footprint they leave. So how much carbon they let off a year. It can literally mean the end of the world without population control.
Wow.
You know, so his idea is decrease the amount of humans. You know, and so that's why we have things like this. And I'm in a place where it's like, okay, I think that we should really push and enforce people to learn how to leave a smaller carbon footprint, how to really recycle, knowing how important recycling is. They've known all of this for years, you know, and growing up, I heard it, but I really didn't understand like the importance of it. And then growing up in poor neighborhoods, they don't teach you about, like, you know, littering and what you're actually doing to the planet. Like, we're gonna end it for all of us.
Yeah, we don't.
You know, so enforcing electric cars, I would say using wind energy, making it mandatory that, you know, electricity is out at a certain time. You know, New York City, we leave lights running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, burning, wasting energy. Like, we need to understand that, but, you know, that's advertising dollars for them, you know.
Exactly.
So, but we need to understand exactly what we're doing to the planet and make actual conscious, you know, decisions to leave a smaller footprint, other than just like, okay, we got to kill motherfuckers. That's what Bill Gates is saying. Like, okay, just kill them. You know, people living too long. There's too many people on the planet. The planet can only withstand about 7 billion people. We're on the way to 9 billion. At 9 billion, we combust. Like, literally, the weather changes. You know, you're starting to get tornadoes and stuff. And he's not lying. It's
right.
true. It's happening. Global warming is a real thing. I know that winters are shorter.
So many things are different.
So many things are different. Like, winters are way shorter than they used to be. I remember a point in time growing up where winter used to start in like late. I'm from in Chicago. It would start like late October and last all the way up until damn near May sometimes. October to May.
Wow.
That was our winter. It's way shorter now. Like, now it's like late November, sometimes December, and then it's, you know, March, April. So it's different, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that this happened because they released this virus out, because, like, literally we're at that point. We're at that point where depopulation is, but we've been at that point for a long time. He's been talking about depopulation for a long time. So know that there are many levels of government that work on depopulation, including, like, you know, flooding our neighborhoods with drugs. You know, the government did that. Like, the United States is a young country. We haven't been here but 200 something, you know, years. Everything that was brought here is imported, you know, like, and created, and there's a science to it, and math, and our government was involved in the first, you know, in the first sightings of drugs, of crack cocaine, of heroin, of cocaine from Nicaragua to with like Rick Ross, and yeah.
Wow.
The government was involved in all of that. They was literally selling drugs to fund wars. So you have Um, so you have many levels of them trying to control the population because they have to.
Yep.
It's literally like purge. But is it because they have to, or do I say we just really focus on these energy saving programs
Exactly.
that can help us? Like, you ain't gotta kill us, motherfucker. Like, like take some of like the wealthy privileges away. Like I said, turning off electricity after a certain time. New York don't gotta be lit up 24 hours a day. That burns way, too much energy. In North Korea, they don't have lights after 8 o'clock. Like, literally, I lived in South Korea for a couple of months during my military days. I was in a Black Hawk unit. We were in South Korea, in Seoul, and Itaewon, and Uijeonbu. I was in a Black Hawk unit, and we got to do all type of flights and get to tour and see like all of Korea. We could see like the DMZ, the line where North Korea and South Korea meet. So you can see you can totally see like the difference, because especially at night, we did like night vision flights. So at night you could see South Korea was like lit, and they're a thriving economy. North Korea, pitch black. It was like it wasn't even there. Like, you could see a couple spots of light here and there, but the whole North Korea was just dark, because their leaders don't allow energy there.
Wasted.
The leaders of North Korea are they're dictators. It's not like, oh, we have a say in shit. It's like, this is what goes. So I don't know if it's for because they cheap, they be that people are starving there. Yeah, I think they just being cheap. But on the flip side, it helps with the environment because saving energy. But I think we should focus on wind resources and electric cars and things of that nature to leave a better footprint, carbon footprint. But Bill Gates's thing is just kill motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Like, even to the point, let me tell you how deep this goes, Linda. I've been I've been researching this, and it's real. The depopulation even goes to the guns in our community. Like, we don't like in Chicago, literally, I have so many people that can vouch for this. In Chicago, where all of the shootings are prevalent or whatever, there's so many people from Chicago that can tell you that we have literally found you can literally just find guns in a neighborhood, like crates of them, just left there by whoever. And I'm talking about pretty shit, like AR-15s and AK-47s and Desert Eagles, just mysteriously there. Like, they want us to kill each other. Wow. They literally, and I wish I had the I've seen interviews of people talking about it, but I know from firsthand experience, like my cousins, when they were like 8, 9, they had arsenals of guns. Finding them, they were always readily available. And it's not like Black people are going into stores and buying them. They literally can just appear. Wow. So that's how deep this depopulation thing goes. And it's going to be a project. It always has been and always will be. I don't know how much this is going to get out, but it's something that, it's like the necessary evil.
Yes.
But again, I say we focus on the economy and on, shrinking our carbon footprint, but then you have a president, Donald Trump, who doesn't believe in climate change, so that totally sets us back because they're trying to pass laws, that enforce uh, us to be more green, but he don't think that global warming is real. And it's so real that they killing us. They're literally killing us.
I'd like to switch the topic, Mimi.
Okay.
You and I are both military veteran females.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud to be a sister veteran with you. And I wanted to bring up your military experience. In that, I wanted to know what branch, what years, and where did you serve, if you don't mind telling me. I've never had this conversation with you like this, so I think other people would be so enlightened as well.
Okay. I joined the military. I knew I was gonna join the military when I was a little girl, because I was always around guns. Isn't that crazy? I was always around guns. My family, we are, proud NRA, members. I've known how to shoot since I was like 8. My dad taught me how to shoot because he had guns all around the house, and so it was like, I guess he wanted me to be safe or careful, So I've known I was gonna join the military since I was a little girl, and I always said it, and I did it as soon as I was able to. I joined when I was 17, because I wanted to blow shit up.
What was your MOS? What job did you do? It was something to do with flying aircraft?
No. So I was a 92 Yankee. I was in supply. I started out, I was 17 when I joined. I went to basic training in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
Yeah.
So I went to basic training in August of 2000. And while I was in basic training, 9/11 happened. So, yeah. And that was around the time of anthrax too. So anthrax got sent to our base. So we were on high alert in basic training. Like I think maybe we had only learned to shoot a week before, like we only touched the weapons a week before. I knew how to shoot when I got there. But everybody else, some of them, it was their first time ever holding a weapon. And then it triggered to the anthrax happening, and then 9/11 happened. And so like we went from being in training to like guarding the post actually too. I was National Guard. I was a reservist. And then I went to a military college. So like after basic training and AIT, I went to basic training at Fort Leonard Wood. I went to AIT in Fort Lee, Virginia, and I was a 92 Yankee, which is supply. In supply, you're responsible for the beans and the bullets, is what they say. Everything that the soldiers need, you are responsible for it. So they're from their clothes to their food, their housing, and weapons. So if you're, when you're responsible for weapons, I did a lot of training with weapons. Because we have to maintain them. We have to teach classes on how to shoot them. We got to fix them. So, I can do all of the above. I can take a rifle completely apart, and if something's wrong, I can like replace parts and stuff like that. I mean, it's been a while, but actually the last time I went to the range was like not too long ago, maybe like earlier this year. But I'm nice. I'm nice. I can shoot the balls off an ant.
Well, thank you for your service. That is a given. Oh my gosh. Thank you for signing up for God knows what you were going to face and serving our great country, which is hard to say sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But it was so yeah, I went to Georgia Military College. I didn't get to finish. I went to Georgia Military College. And I was going to do the early commissioning program. But I didn't wind up going through with it. I was having some problems with security clearances because I got some, questionable people in my family.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. I was, it was an extra layer for me to get a top security clearance. I got a security clearance, but the top security clearance, they were concerned about a few members of my family. Like my grandma had a robbery charge. And my dad had he had a bunch of stuff like, kidnapping and
my dad was in the mafia in Portland, Oregon, if you can figure. And my twin brother robbed a hippie and got thrown in prison.
Oh, wow. See, okay, my dad's kidnapping charge was, it was, some guys broke into our house and stole some stuff. It was around Christmas time. So stole some gifts, set the house on fire. And my dad found out who it was and took the law into his own hands. So I don't think he did any time for that. But he did kidnap the guy that broke into the house and shot him.
Wow.
Yeah, in the house. And my mom told me this story. So I was a kid. I didn't know about the kidnapping charge until I was getting my security clearance. And so like they told me all the charges and they told me about my grandma's bank robbing charge. And I asked her about it, like, Grandma, what? Like, the military said she was like, yeah, they tried to say I was a getaway driver back in the 60s.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. So my time is almost up and I have to go to my last interview for the day. And
Okay.
You're too interesting. I have to have you back on to hear more about you and your life. This is just a snippet. You're such a good talker.
Oh yeah, thank you. Sorry if I talk too much.
No, it's interesting and everything. So where do you want me to promote you on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter? Where?
You can just just my Instagram page. I am Meme Simpson.
So IAM or IM?
IAM, like, yeah, I am. I am Meme Simpson. I am Meme Simpson is my Instagram. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I got is IG. And Facebook is Meme, just Emmy Simpson. And Facebook is Meme Simpson. My website is coming soon.
Say what?
I said my website is coming soon.
What do you have the website name yet, or it'll come out later?
It'll come out later.
Okay. And come to your show and I'll tell them where it's been and that you'll let them know if you'll post if it's a different location or whatever.
Yeah, when we open back, when the world open back up, who knows when that's gonna be.
I know. What a crazy world. Who'd have ever thought this was, I mean, maybe some people did, but it really, it's a lot of suffering going on around the entire world.
It is.
Well, you've been such a delight, and I promise you I want to get a hold of you so that you can come back on and we can talk other stuff because you're so interesting.
Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. Thank you for having me on your show. Many blessings to you. Thank you for your service in the military.
The people at the Brooklyn, the people at the Manhattan VA, when I was getting my ID cards, the women in that office, they're like, do you know Meme Simpson? She's a military veteran. She does comedy, and I had to get a hold of you. They wanted you to come and do comedy. They love you. They've been to your show.
Oh, wow. I would love to do something with them. You got to connect me with them and see see if we can make something happen.
Okay.
Do some shows for the veterans. Yeah, that I would love it.
Okay. I'll give you some information about getting in there. It takes for freaking ever to get through all the red tape, but once you do, you're in like Flynn.
Okay.
That came from Errol Flynn. I don't know what I'm talking about. All right. Thank you, Mimi.
All right, no problem.
Say goodbye to Meme Simpson, everybody.
Bye, y'all.